So this video will be about how to learn a new language. So before I dive into the tips on how to learn a new language, you must understand a few things which I'll tell you now. It is easiest to learn a language when the people around you are speaking in that same language. So if you have no one around you that speaks the same language, it'll take much longer to learn the language. You might not even learn it at all, because you'll have such small numbers of use cases for a language, so it won't stick better. And so here's my opinion. Do not learn a language if the people around you don't speak it. Unless you're going to travel to another country, that's fine. But if you're going to learn a language just because it's a new goal, I don't think there's any point, because you're not going to use it. Sometimes it's like one of the New Year's resolutions, where you tell yourself, oh, I'm going to learn Spanish and French this year. But then a few weeks go by, you've completely stopped the language learning. So the language learning process should not be like that. You should learn languages only when it's needed, not for like New Year's resolutions kind of stuff. Because in that case, you'll never stick to it. So it's best to learn a language that people around you speak. Okay. Now learning a language does not have to be one of the things where you only do it for 1 hour a day. It can be done throughout the whole day. Because if you think about it, you don't speak a language for just 1 hour a day. Let's say your main language, probably English. You don't speak it for 1 hour a day and then you speak nothing for the rest of the day. You speak English throughout the day. So keeping that in mind, you can learn your language throughout the different parts of the day and not just stick it to one block. And so that helps you become more familiar with the language because you're using it more frequently. So now the first tip I can give you is to search for YouTube channels which help you learn that language. So I was learning Portuguese. I still am. But I've become much more fluent in that language compared to before. And I think the YouTube channels really helped me. So I found a channel called Teach Yourself Portuguese. I'll link in the description if you are learning Portuguese. And watching his live streams and all his videos, it doesn't seem like a chore. It just feels like entertainment. And because it's in another language, the words he says stick to your mind better. Now this entertainment can be used wrongly, where you just waste hours watching this guy play a video game instead of watching him playing a video game to help you learn that language. So there is a danger in that zone, but there is also a danger in traditional lessons where you don't even pay attention because it becomes so boring. So I think channels like Teach Yourself Portuguese is one of the best ways, because you actually like doing it. You like watching the videos. And because he's got subtitles in English while he's speaking Portuguese, you can find out word translations very easily. But the problem is, are these words gonna stick to your head? Probably not. But that's why not every word is used only once. So if you keep watching him, you will learn those words, and they will stick to your memory. Now the second tip, and this is probably something that no one mentions when learning languages. So again, this doesn't have to be in this one time of the day, but throughout the whole day. So go into a quiet room where there's no distractions and just speak to yourself in that language. Now, of course, if you're a beginner, you won't be able to speak that well. But that's where Google Translate comes in. So let's say you're trying to tell yourself something in your mind while speaking that different language. Let's say there's a couple words, a phrase, or even a sentence that you don't know how to say. Just type that sentence into English in the translator and of course translate it to the desired language, and you'll find it there, translation. Now you must understand what every word means before just trying to memorize it. So you might want to consider taking every word out of that sentence except the word you don't know, so that you understand it. Now the third tip, and this is very useful if you have your family around you all the time. Tell them that you're learning their language and that they should only talk to you in that language. But of course, if there are words that you don't know the meaning of, just ask them to translate it. So now, what I also used to do was I used to translate songs. So one of my favorite Portuguese artists is Roberto Carlos. Even though I'm learning European Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese is very similar. Translation of the words are completely the same. It's just the accents, which is not, I don't think it's that difficult to learn. So what I did was I went into Spotify, click on the song you want to translate. The lyrics button should be at the bottom of the screen. Just click on that. You'll see the lyrics. Pause the music before it starts playing and just translate each word into English. If you can't do that, then put it into the translator, get the translation back. Yeah. So what that will do is increase your vocabulary range. So I hope these tips helped you in this language learning journey, because it is quite difficult. It is a quite difficult one. And it's one where you can drift off very easily because of distractions such as social media. And of course, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want. And I'll see you in the next video.